I don't believe in preaching a prosperity gospel, but I also will never preach a poverty gospel. I think stewardship is great. It's harder for a rich man to get into heaven than it is for a camel to get through the eye of a needle. And so when we're reading that scripture from the lens of, 2025, you're thinking a sewing needle, a tiny little speck of a hole, and then this big old camel. So what is Jesus saying? You're thinking Jesus is saying anybody rich is not going to heaven, period. I want you to be broke. I need your Toyota to break down. Like, I need you to not be able to afford your meal. Yes, your light needs to get shut off. Absolutely, you need to wear hand-me-downs. That is godly. And that's just out of context, because when we're reading the scriptures from an exegesis perspective, and we're now taking into consideration, the Hebrew or Greek time period,
Mm-hmm.
we understand that the
No,
eye of a needle was
no.
actually a smaller door. And I encourage everybody watching this right now to pause this clip, go to Google, type in camel, eye of a needle. And what
Yeah.
you're going to see is you're going to see a picture of a camel. You're going to see a picture of a really big door. And then you're going to see a small door
Mm-hmm.
inside of that big door. And so what the eye of a needle was it was a smaller door through a passageway that the only way camels can go through would be if they unload everything that was on the back of the camel, everything the camels was carrying, you would have to unload it. Then you would have to force the camel to get low. And then it would actually have to crawl through this eye of a needle. And because it was so tight, the camel would freak out. And so you'd have to like literally push it through. It was
Mm-hmm.
a process. And so I believe what the
Yeah.
Lord Jesus was saying was, hey, it's not a bad thing to have resources, but if you're going to serve me and you're going to follow me, you're going to at points to get through this door, you're going to have to unload all those resources that you think you have off of you.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to have to get low and humble, and you're going to have to squeeze through an uncomfortable spot that maybe is going to make you have anxiety or fear, and that's where you're going to find me at on the other side of this door. So I just encourage everybody go read the parable of the talents. Although
Mm-hmm.
Jesus is talking about spiritual things on a deeper level, the actual word talent itself is money, and so it was a parable about financial stewardship.
That's good.
And we know the scriptures. Seek treasures in heaven.
Yeah.
Um, we also see that Jesus positioned God and money as two different spectrums. You can either serve God or serve money. Um, but I think that's for the people who fall in love with the money, people who begin to idolize, resources